Please hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
This is the 420 radio show. There's that damn echo. I do it at the beginning of every show.
That's because you play Star Wars crap in between shows. You sit there.
Star Wars.
I
just want to shout out to the smoking table. Hey, how you doing? He's in the chat, and so am I, but I can't type right now. We're kind of busy. But speaking of chat room, come on in the chat room at lifestyleradio.net and let's smoke some ganja. Today's word is ganja. I'm here with my pal Marcel Giggles Genac and Laurie McEachern, both from the Medical Cannabis Alliance, Patients Alliance of Canada, correct? Is that right? Or what are the initials?
MCPAC Canada.
There you go. Right. And they are my education.
Tonight I'm your overly medicated individual.
Yeah, he's my overly medicated dude. Dude. So listen, we've got Russell Barth and his lovely wife Christine Lowe joining us in about 5-10 minutes or so. I just wanted to have a little conversation here because it seems, everybody's got Pope on the mind these days, Pope on the rope. And I just wanted to ask you guys, were either of you aware that he has a pop album about to be released?
Yeah.
Oh, no. No, I didn't know that.
A pop album.
Yep. A pop album.
And he's doing the lead vocals?
It's rapping?
It's kind of like the songs are playing, and he is talking from, thoughtful and meaningful words. And, I'm just trying to find it real quick here so that I can play a little tiny clip of it. And then we're going to take a break and find Russell and his lovely wife and continue the 420 radio show. Hold on one sec. This is the Al singing show, and we're going to listen to that. We're going to listen to that song that you guys found from Helen Austin.
Yes, that was wicked. Good time, Marcel.
Yeah, we're going to listen to that. And here is...
Chris actually found it. Chris wanted the lyrics.
Finding where he starts his... here we go.
Wake up. Wake up. This word speaks of a responsibility which the Lord gives you.
They are calling it a pop rock album. It's there are 11 tracks, all in Italian. That one's called "Wake Up, Go Forward," and it's just inspirational or perspirational words by the Pope, along with music.
I'm what's the word I want to use?
Perplexed.
I'm interested in the fact that he is coming out against corporate greed. I will applaud him for that.
Yeah. What?
He's on cannabis, I don't believe are very
formidable. No, not at all. No, he's not for it at all. Yeah. No, he's actually against it. The musician's name, though, of this album is Tony Pagaluca. I guess. I don't speak Italian. and it's called Pope Francis Wake Up. Okay, so wanted to tell people about that. And I see Russell is looking to find out where we are, so hello, Russell. I know you're listening. Marcel?
I can't hear Russell.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Did you lose Russell? Did he hang up on you?
No, not this time. Not yet.
Not this time. Not yet.
Okay, we're going to take a break and call Russell Barth and his wife, Christine. And then later on in the show, Tabatha Ward will be joining us. We're going to talk mental health and whatever else comes up. We got some news from Ellen. And let's see, what else do we got? Oh, I'm going to play a little bit of that guy that spouted off, and the track is called Dear Potheads. That's that dude that's like goes crazy mental on fucking video. I'm sure you've seen it on YouTube. And then we'll be back in a minute after we listen to this Harper song, Canadian Lies by Helen Austin. This is the 420 Radio Show, live on lifestyleradio.net. Come on in the chat room, say hello. Come on in the chat room, say hello.
Not so long ago, I can still remember when this country used to make me smile. But Steve knew if he had the chance, he'd make it all about finance, and hoped we wouldn't notice for a while. He went ahead, no questions asked, and all the bills that he has passed are bad news for the climate. He keeps the scientists quiet. Really makes me want to cry how he treats the veterans and retired. Can't speak without it being a lie. It makes us terrified. We'll be singing bye bye, Mr. Harper, goodbye, with your psychopathic ways and your evil eyes. If you had your way, you'd bleed Canada dry. As a leader, you don't qualify. So, Mr. Harper, goodbye. So you renamed the government, and on the jets you overspent, but you don't seem to care. And you let our economy collapse while losing billions of our cash. You say you can't find it anywhere. Well, we know that Steve, he loves his oil, and to get it he will wreck our soil. He loves his pipeline plans, and he doesn't give a damn. He's a greedy, grey-haired, smiling schmuck. We hope that he's run out of luck, 'cause he really doesn't give a. We must toss him aside. We'll be singing bye-bye, Mr. Harper, goodbye, with your psychopathic ways and your evil eyes. If you had your way, you'd bleed Canada dry. As a leader, you don't qualify. So, Mr. Harper, goodbye. For 10 years you've been Prime Minister, and expenses grow on your senators, but you said you didn't know. When Duffy, he stood up in court and said by Nigel he'd been bought, and all the accusations start to flow. You won't answer questions unless we pay, 'cause you've got nothing left to say. The courtroom's been adjourned. You don't even seem concerned. How many times can you break the law and carry on as before? And now it seems you want a war. We must get off this ride. We'll be singing bye-bye, Mr. Harper, goodbye, with your psychopathic ways and your evil eyes. If you had your way, you'd bleed Canada dry. As a leader, you don't qualify. So, Mr. Harper, goodbye. Now, at this point, I thought I should stop, but there's just so much to write about, I had to keep going. I think that we can all agree that we all need our CBC and not a state-run radio. And C51, oh what the heck. We need to protest, so don't forget that it's the people that you're working for. So where do we go to vote? Fair elections say they can't promote. No signage they can share. Do you really think that's fair? No more Harvard government. That name will be irrelevant. Back to a name more permanent that belongs to Canada. We'll be singing bye bye, Mr. Harper, goodbye, with your psychopathic ways and your evil eyes. If you had your way, you'd bleed Canada dry. As a leader, you don't qualify. So, Mr. Harper, goodbye. October the 19th is the day that we all get to have our say, and I hope we have some happy news. Together we all need to vote, so we can have some little hope, and proportional representation's what we need. In the city streets we're all aware, the kids need help, not the millionaires. The votes they've been all stolen. The system is so broken. And the people I admire the most are the ones who help the poorer folks, give refuge to the ones with hopes. We need to feel some pride. We'll be singing bye bye, Mr. Harper, goodbye, with your psychopathic ways and your evil eyes. We won't let you bleed Canada dry. So, Mr. Harper, goodbye. Thank you.
The Cannonball Run for Vets will be leaving the city of Los Angeles on October 17th, heading toward our nation's capital. We'll be stopping in Denver, Austin, Nashville, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. At each of these stops, we'll have a 5K boot run, followed by an evening reception networking event. Veterans and military families will share their experiences, and will be joined by leading researchers, educators, advocates, and legal minds. For this cross-country campaign, we're estimating our costs to be between $40,000 to $50,000. We factored in gas, lodging, food, marketing material, permits and fees, and costs associated with venues in each city. We've got a great list of incentives and perks for our donors, including original artwork, t-shirts, accessories, backstage passes, and more. We call on our leadership to investigate the impact of legal pharmaceuticals carelessly prescribed by the Veterans Health Association. We need them to acknowledge the damage inflicted on our military families by these legal drugs. Our country has an obligation to our volunteers and needs to do what is right by them. In a situation such as this, every hour a human toll is rising. We are a nation awash in the blood of our dead patriots. Veterans are roughly 7% of the population in our country, yet they account for more than an estimated 20% of the national suicide rate. As federal patients, we require that cannabis be recognized by the VA as a viable alternative to dangerous SSRIs, opiates, and other commonly prescribed drugs. We know from recent reports that cannabis has statistically lowered the overdose suicide death rates in states where it is legally accessible. As federal patients, we require federal access. On Veterans Day, November 11th in Washington, D.C., veterans are taking their empty pill bottles to the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue. We intend to make a strong statement when we dump out our trash bags of empty pill bottles collected along our cross-country journey. Afterwards, we will pause for a moment of cannabis reflection to remember those we have lost and those we continue to lose daily. Please join us in D.C. this Veterans Day and help us in our fight for safe access and compassionate care. We start our march at Benjamin Franklin Park at 1100 EST. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for your support.
We have Tabatha coming in the last half.
Yep, Tabatha Ward will be joining us. This is the 420 radio show we are on right now with Russell Barth and Christine Lowe. Hello, folks.
Hello.
We're going to be talking with Russell and Christine about their, let me see here, $10
$10 million.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Somebody wrote it $10 though.
Oh, I might have screwed up.
No, it's okay. I'm just joking. They've got a $10 a $10 million human rights complaint against the mayor and the city of Ottawa. Yeah. Explain it and tell me why, and we'll go from there.
Well, on the morning of April 30th, I was doing my usual routine, going through Facebook and everything, reading what was going on. And there was an article from the Ottawa Citizen said, Ottawa Mayor Jim Watson weighs in on Vapor Lounge. I didn't even know there was a Vapor Lounge in Ottawa. But, he says we don't want it, we don't like it, and blah, 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 and everything. And now, the thing is, this was in the course of a media scrum. It wasn't like he issued a statement saying, we don't like vapor lounges, or, was in the middle of a speech or whatever, or in council. This is in a scrum. This is in his capacity as mayor. They weren't, asking him what's his favorite, soup. They weren't talking to the man, Jim Watson. They were talking to the mayor, Jim Watson. So at some point, someone asked him, well, what about if someone has a medical marijuana license? What about them? And the mayor said, and I quote, if someone has a medical license for marijuana, then please go and use that product on your property in your own house. But please don't bring it in an establishment where other people can be affected by secondhand smoke. So hours later, when Christine awoke and I told her that, she started to cry. And, we were pretty upset about the whole thing. And so I finally I sent some emails back and forth with some media people saying this is unacceptable, he needs to apologize. And they would call and ask him what he thought, and I guess they didn't get much answer from the city. So I sent him an email on the, I guess this would be the 4th of May. I said, by voicing the opinion medical marijuana users should stay home, you have publicly insulted and discriminated against tens of thousands of Canadians, many of them veterans. Your comments were a violation of our mobility rights, stigmatizing doctor-prescribed, federally licensed sick people and their federally licensed suppliers. This cannot go unchallenged. If you do not issue a formal public apology by the end of this week, I will have no choice but to file a human rights complaint the likes of which this city has never seen. A case that would cost the citizens of this city over $100,000 simply to defend, no matter what the outcome might be. I followed up the next day with a phone call to see if you got it and everything. The lady was like, yeah, we got it. And I got no reply at all. By the 20th of May, we'd had enough, and we filed the complaint, issuing a press release and everything. And nothing really came of that. The media is like, well, if one person from the Ottawa Metro said, if it moves forward, let me know. So I figured because it was about marijuana that we'd probably just get brushed aside. But, if I was a rich man, it would be different. I could hire a lawyer, just, a Wolverine of a lawyer, bloodthirsty monster, and just point him at City Hall and say, no quarter, no prisoners. But you can't really do that. And I was so upset by what he had said. When I was reading about Buzz on the Vapor Lounge, I thought, well, I don't really think I want to go because I don't really want to talk to cops. And I wasn't that keen on going to the part of town known as Vanier where Buzz on is. It's sort of the rougher part of town. And then when I read what the mayor said, I thought, well, now I have to go. So we spent pretty much the next 4 days there at Buzz On. And Christine even tweeted to him, sending him photos of her vaping, saying, hey, I'm down at Buzz On if you want to come down and apologize to me.
Come kind on, of thing. Join me.
Come join me, if you want to come and apologize and stuff. And hang on a second. Sorry, my allergies are bugging me.
Bless you.
So we just thought we sent the Ontario Human Rights complaint forms in, and we thought it's not going to go anywhere, but we have to do something. And I had to answer to this thing. I can't go in there and slap the guy around as I would have liked to. It's not the 1700s. I can't, challenge him to a duel. So I sent this human rights complaint. And then in June, the commission got back to me asking to clarify a thing or two. We sent it off as quick as we could. And on the 24th of July, they got back to us and the city to say that the complaint was moving forward, and the mayor and the city had until the 23rd to respond to the complaint. And we just got that response yesterday. It came in the mail. And there's all these long forms and everything, but finally it gets to the point where responding to the allegations. And it says, This reply is filed on behalf of the City of Ottawa and Mayor Jim Watson. The respondents deny that they have discriminated against the applicant. The respondents submit, this is the respondents being the mayor and the city, submit that the alleged comments made by the mayor do not relate to a social area identified in the code, meaning the Human Rights Code, do not disclose a viable claim under the code, and do not relate to the City of Ottawa. So they're basically brushing it aside, saying, yeah, the guy has no validity to it, to my complaint, and now I have to respond to that. So it's going to go back and forth for a while. But the fact that it's gone this far suggests that the commission does think that I have a pretty good case. And the reason I made it for $10 million is because there were, at the time, approximately 40,000 licensed medical users across the country. So if they read about that, I mean, it's Ottawa's first vapor lounge, so the story got picked up nationally, I'm sure. And people who have licenses across the country are like, oh, great, we're not welcome in Ottawa now.
And especially being Ottawa, being Canada's capital, you'd think that something like that might be very important.
Yeah, you would think. But, this town, as a lot of people who are from here know, it's kind of like it's stuck in 1964, right before human culture got cool. And so it's very difficult, and we don't really know what's going to happen with this. What I'm really hoping for is that at some point I'm going to be sitting across the table from Mayor Watson himself. So... That's
what you're hoping for.
That's what I'm hoping for, yeah. I mean, they could make it really easy and just apologize. They don't even have to use our names. They could just say, yeah, the mayor made these comments, but there's no way they're going to admit to insulting, medical pot users. I mean, we're just pot users. It's not like we're people or anything. And I also suspect that his legal advisors are like, don't apologize or anything, knowing full well that they can drag this out for years and keep billing the city at probably a lot higher than the public sector rate for this kind of stuff, and they're just going to be billing the city for fighting me in human rights court. It's absurd. It's obscene. Yeah. So that's the story for the human rights thing. We just have to wait and see how it plays out, but. The Jim Watson now knows that, we don't take this sitting down. People have to stand up and say, hey, we're not going to put up with that. And hopefully it works out in our favor. He's in the untenable position now of either having to apologize or spend tens of thousands of dollars of the taxpayers' money to fight me in human rights court. So he can't win either way. And that's kind of the point, is just to make him look bad. He said what he said, and it stigmatizes us and it violates our mobility rights as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to push this all the way to the end.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you've got to stay home now.
Well, it's hard enough for us. I mean, Christine has seizures in public, as we were just discussing off air before.
Yeah.
We were taking part in this walk for dignified access with Jennifer Collette and others. And we walked 5 kilometers that day, and it wasn't even 100 meters from Parliament Hill. We were like outside the fence on the sidewalk, but right at the west corner of the lawn.
Yeah.
So we were basically there. We just hadn't gone inside yet. And then I look back to see if she's okay, and she's got that weird face on, that she makes when she's having a mild seizure, and she wet herself and everything. So another activist gave us a lift home, and that was very disappointing, but it very well illustrated the whole situation about dignified access too.
But I mean, it's good that the other one was willing to give you a drive home too.
Yeah. It's disappointing for us because we pretty much go do our groceries and that's it. We don't spend a lot of time going out to things because we never know when Christine's going to have a seizure. They're mild usually. She's had about 12 mild ones this month already. Yeah. 15 in August, 18 in July. So it's been a busy time for her seizure-wise, but I managed to get these vaping pens into her face very quickly. And she has just enough sort of mental wherewithal to inhale, to suck, pinch her nose off, and I say, suck, just so she does that and gets some good hoots into her. It's all, dabbing gunk inside the pens.
Yeah.
And then she comes around in a while, and it's happened on the bus several times. It's happened on bus platforms. Happened in the doctor's office. She had a big seizure. last 2 weeks ago. She had one in the Rito Center yesterday. We were really lucky because we just happened to be off. There's been a lot of construction and renovation going on at the Rito Center because of the light rail that's being put in Ottawa. Mm-hmm. So there's sections of the mall where they've got those sort of yellow workhorses across, staircases and block off sections. So we walked over by one of those. And I looked around and I didn't really see any camera that was pointing right at us. So we got lucky because I don't want to talk to Ottawa, Rito Center security guards. I mean, come on. So Rito Center's this big mall in the middle of downtown. And so, she had a mild seizure. I got some pain into her indoors. And that was very disconcerting. But she didn't pee herself, and we got home okay. So, but the good news about that is I had one occasion where I had to speak to some OC Transpo security because I was vaping her on the bus. And the driver took exception to it and stopped the bus and called security, so we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And they said, well, you should really talk to this guy and that guy. They gave me some names of people at OC Transport to talk to about it, and I did. And the head of the security department, they have these special security guards, special constables they're called, drive around in these cars, and they basically have the power of police on OC Transport property. Buses, platforms, things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they have the power of arrest and everything?
Yeah, they have handcuffs. Well, because if somebody gets out of hand or whatever,
they don't have guns.
No, I don't think they have guns, but they have handcuffs.
Not Metro. The TTC in Toronto, the transit in Toronto has their own cops as well.
Yeah. Well, Ottawa Transit has. It's called OC Transpo, and they have their own security guys. Anyway, I spoke to their head honcho, their number one top guy, and he says he understands about the vaping pens. He even mentioned that they're a lot like EpiPens. Because it's a bad analogy. I said, no, it's a perfect analogy. That's exactly the analogy you have to use because this is what it is. It's a medical assistive device, and she needs it when she needs it, In my case,
it's a recovery device, right?
Exactly. Now, and I told him, for myself with fibromyalgia and PTSD, if I could, I'd be vaping constantly. I'd have a mask like Bane on my face. It would just constantly be vaping me. But I don't need to do it in a mall. I don't need to do it on the bus or on the bus platform. If I can't, if I'm having a problem, I can get off the bus. I can walk to the end of the platform or whatever.
Yeah.
With Christine, it's immediate. She's standing there talking, she's fine, and then I say, how you doing there? And then she's just blinking and chewing, and I have to act immediately. So I can't even walk her 10 feet, because she usually sort of leans back and doesn't want to be walked anywhere. So when I explained all this to him, and I explained to him also that, they are not to call an ambulance unless specifically told to, because it'll waste an ambulance that could be helping other people, and it can actually cause more damage than good for Christine, because if they shoot her full of Ativan and stuff, and she could die.
There's people that have a hard time understanding that concept.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
I'm the same way. If something happens to me, I don't want you to call an ambulance because there's nothing the ambulance is going to do that I can't do myself.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of it has to do with sort of legal protocol, right? If somebody starts to twitch out on a bus and they're flopping around and everything, they're thinking, well, we better call an ambulance because if we don't call the ambulance, we could be sued. And then when the ambulance shows up, they're like, well, we have to do what our protocol tells us. And we see someone having a seizure, we shoot them full of Ativan because that's the protocol.
That's exactly like in my...
And then I would tell them, well, yeah, but don't... This happened once almost 8 years ago when Christine had a triple seizure. And they're like, well, we're going to give her some Ativan. I said, well, you better get the paddles fired up because she could die on you. And they're like, what do you mean die? I said, no heartbeat, no breathing, dead. What part don't you understand? She's got an odd propensity for, cardiac arrest. It's not really like a heart attack. It's just she just slows right down and stops. So they're like, okay, well, they weren't really sure what to do, but they did it anyway. And luckily she survived, but she hasn't been the same since. So
we should all start getting medical alert bracelets that say cannabinoids only.
I'm her medical alert bracelet.
I was actually looking into that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, were you?
It's like $70 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like $70 a year or something.
You can get anything you want printed on them.
Right. Yeah, those medical alert. We should have cannabinoid only put on them.
Just no pharmaceuticals. They're just going to say, oh, well, she has epilepsy. We have to. She's having a seizure.
I used to have one when I was in the military because I did scuba diving.
Well, is that not protocol for ambulances to go for a medical alert before anything else?
Yeah.
Right, but the thing is, all medical alert bracelets going to say she has epilepsy, no pharmaceuticals, and they're going to say, well, we got to do something, so we're just going to give her Ativan and hope it works out.
Oh, there's another one that's got a phone number on it they have to call for direction, actually.
Doesn't matter. I'm her direction. You know, I'm with
right. Oh, yes, I understand that. I was thinking, like, if I'm out, I don't have anybody speaking for me.
But you can add your own protocol to the medical alert bracelet. The medical alert bracelet says add cannabis only.
It's $70 wasted, though. I mean, you know, I'm with her all the time, and if anything's happening, I'll tell them right there what's going on. So it happened at the doctor's
somebody
office.
with MS or something like that would actually be a handy one.
It's actually kind of silly. You know, my 11-year-old niece has diabetes, type 1, and it's pretty serious. I mean, but she has to have her pen with her all the time just in case, and she has to have her meds with her, and the school cannot help administer. If she has an attack, a diabetic attack, and she needs one of them pens that's, 18 inches long that has to go in her admin and blah, 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 they can't even administrate it to her. They're not allowed. They are bound by the courts on that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the complication of the situation, and this is why some people have asked, well, how come Christine doesn't, maybe go out by herself once in a while? Maybe it would be refreshing for her. It's like, yeah, it would be, but if she has a seizure, then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
If she starts flopping on the ground, somebody's like, oh my God, it's a seizure, I better call 911. Because most people don't know exactly what a seizure looks like.
Most people would be sticking a stick in her mouth if they saw her having a seizure.
Exactly.
Like, seriously?
I don't teach this stuff in school, how to deal with people when they're having seizures. When I was at the doctor's office, I was doing most of the work, coping with her having the seizure. Her doctor was literally right there next to me, like sort of cradling her head for a bit, and I was trying to keep her legs from bashing the bench where she fell down and stuff. So that's the thing. When she's flopping around, I've got to sort of, I don't just sort of stroke her hair and soothe her. I have to sort of watch where she's going, where her legs are flopping around, and try to keep her from getting as physically injured as possible. And then she has this problem with her left shoulder. It pops right out of its joint. Like it just totally separates. Like. And I have to put it back in.
My condolences there, Christine.
What's that?
I said my condolences. I know exactly what that feels like.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I have a left shoulder that pops out as well.
Yeah. And hers will pop out just when she's rolling over in bed.
So will mine.
Yeah, when she's reaching for something for no reason at all. I was looking at her one day. We were just sitting talking, and I was just happened to be looking right at her when she was talking, and I literally saw it just go plop and fall out like a mannequin's arm.
It's gross, isn't it?
And yeah, it is gross. And then we finally discovered it's not, raise it out to the side. It's keep it down and pull the elbow in close by the kidney and just lift, and it goes back in.
Yeah.
And then when I do that to her,
I had to learn that over the years. I dislocated mine. I drove the top of my shoulder landed in the middle of my chest.
Wow.
So then I had to put it back into my socket.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's always popped out.
Yeah. It'll never be the same. Once it pops, it's gone.
Yep. Once it's gone. Once it happens, it's gone. That's why I said my condolences. I know what it's like. It's a miserable thing now.
Oh, it's got to be like my knee. I slipped one time in a laundromat, and it sounded like a gunshot when my leg, like my knee popped out of the socket or something like that, and then back in again.
Yep.
And they tried to get me to have arthroscopic surgery or whatever the hell they call that.
Yeah.
But yeah, every now and then it's like I twist and I don't move my foot and it does it again. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know that thing they do in movies all the time where somebody is about to embark in a fight or some crazy stunt or whatever, and they tip their head to one side and there's a loud crunching sound like knuckles popping?
Yeah.
And it's usually, obviously they usually add the sound effect. Someone will just stand there and they'll click their head from side to side and it'll go crunch, crunch. My head does that for real.
Oh, mine too. And you can hear it inside, right?
I'll just be like playing a video game or sitting at the watching a show, and then I'll lean one way.
I'm sorry. I was just sitting here thinking, oh my God, we're going to get into
really
guess what I have compared to guess what I have.
I know. We got to stop that. We'll be here all night complaining about all these weird and wonderful things that we have wrong with us.
We're all broken. We know that.
Severely broken, yeah.
Next topic.
Yeah.
Cannabinoids, the grease for the broken people.
Yeah.
We're also
my goodness.
a fundraiser page on Facebook. It's an ongoing fundraiser page to help supply us with medicine because we don't have any funds to be buying from dispensaries or to be buying from LPs. And people have been very generous. They've been either... Dana Larson will match any donation that people send him. So if somebody sends $20, he'll send us $40 worth of meds and so on. And he's also been sending us, sending Christine mainly, Bud, even when no one's donating. So that's been super, super generous. He's been saving our life.
Thank you so much, Dana.
But he'll match any donation. So if somebody sent you an ounce of hash, he'd send
if somebody emails him money, like $50 or $20 or whatever, he'll just double that.
Okay, I got you.
So, so that helps. And, other people are just sending meds too, like just sending us stuff, which has been super awesome. And they want to be a little more discreet. I can't sort of go naming, this guy sent me this and this person sent me that,
But you know who you are, and we say thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Because it's pretty scary, and we're just kind of basically trying to ride the situation out until either MMAR comes back online or Ontario Disability starts paying for MMPR prescriptions. If that happened, I have someone I know that is a pretty, who's involved with a good LP, not Tweed or Tilray. And, if we can ride it out and either get one of those two things to sort itself out, then we can get back up to our full dose.
That would be awesome.
And, that's a great lead into a little bit of background information that I have available to me. Anyone on ODSP, by the way, a patient a couple of years ago actually received won a human rights tribunal to cover the cost of their volcano vaporizer.
Yeah.
The thing got stalled because it was left in the hands of a doctor who quit his practice, that needed to provide a letter. And basically what they were waiting for was provision of something that said that nothing would satisfy the requirement like a volcano would.
Right.
You know what I mean? So basically prove to us that your doctor says that this is the device you need in opposition to this little handheld thing that you can get for $150, right?
Right.
So I have it through the grapevine that this is going to be hopefully moving forward again soon. And actually what had happened was that the person had won it and it was left that way. Now it's being picked back up again. Hopefully to set precedent for anybody on ODSP to be able to get one, because we believe that the Volcano Medi was actually an approved device through Health Canada at some point.
Yes, it was.
Well, the Volcano we got in the fall of 2006, and it was paid for by ODSP.
Excuse me. Well, the next step would be to try to get I guess the next step would be to try and get a human rights tribunal through one of the patients somewhere for ODSP or their own provincial disability plan to cover the cost of the medicine on the same sort of benefit. Because I don't know about any other province here in Ontario. It's called, I believe it's a mandatory special necessity benefit.
Right.
So that if someone with emphysema has trouble breathing in the city in the summer, they can get an air conditioner.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's under the same auspices by which the Volcano would be a medically assistive device.
Well, I went and saw my MPP.
Should be covered in the same way that a natural health product or alternative medicine that isn't normally covered under the formulary.
Well, my MPP is Liberal John Fraser.
Right.
And I went into the office and I spoke to his fart catcher there about it. And at the same time, I wrote a letter to, this is right after Kathleen Wynne was elected, and when this was all coming down sort of last spring, 2014. And I wrote to Kathleen Wynne and the Ministry of Community and Social Services and the Ministry of Health, and I think the Justice Minister and some others. And I sent the same letter to everybody saying that it would cost $4,000 to $8,000 per month for us to buy it, so we can't, and they have to step up. The only people who got back to me were the Ministry of Community and Social Services, and they said that they cannot do anything about medical marijuana, period, because it is part of it's on the Federal Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. So the fart catcher up the street told me the same thing. And I said, yeah, but
so
there's a
is
whole
every
list
medication.
Okay? I said, there's a whole
the Controlled
list of
Drugs and Substances Act has just about every medication that you can buy in the pharmacy included on there too, doesn't it?
Well, that's just it. OxyContin is on the CDSA and morphine's on the CDSA, and they pay for all that stuff.
Right.
Right? So that excuse, oh, well, it's on the CDSA, is a lame excuse. I mean, if he had at least said, well, it doesn't have a DIN, you'd go, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But so what? You can override that. I mean, the province does a lot of things, that the federals don't want them to do, and they just do it anyway. So this liberal government doesn't even want to discuss the topic, let alone figure out how to fix the problem. You see? Nobody wants to help. Nobody wants to be seen helping marijuana users, even medical marijuana users.
Yeah, it's sad. And sadly, for some reason, I almost get the idea that the public thinks that because we're allowed to use marijuana, we have it. You know what I mean?
We have what?
It seems to be an assumption that, oh, you've been approved, you get it for free, you don't need any help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where all that comes from, but
yeah.
Either do I, but does that not seem to be the
water, right? And people skim the news, so they're like, oh yeah, it was provided by the government, was it? It's like, no, there was one grower for years, and they sold shit, and they only sold it to a fraction of the people who were actually using it. And
it was shit.
Where did you get that? So
and the people paid $5 a gram for it, and the government paid another $5 a gram for it.
Yeah.
They got ripped.
And the thing is, it was gamma irradiated, and it was all basically ground up, so.
Yeah, well, by his own admission, the fellow that got the contract had never even seen a cannabis plant when he got the contract. So there you go.
Tuttle is such a scumbag.
I'm sorry. I'm speechless when I think about that.
Yeah.
The opinions made by our guests are not those of Lifestyle Radio.
Fuck you, Brent Zettel.
I thought it sounded like we were going there.
Face to face with me, buddy.
When I start going, that's when I'm rendered speechless.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I'm just so tired of the people who are lying about it. And, I used to write a lot of letters to the editor and stuff, and I just can't do it anymore. Because, you try to make the letter about the thing, about the article. And I just get so steamed now. And with a lower dose and everything, I'm not feeling as well. I'm not thinking as well. So I just get all flustered. And I can't write the letters like I used to. Once in a while, I can put out an article that's of some value. But the way I used to pound the letters out, 10 or 15 in a day, every day for years, and getting 800 published, I haven't done it in years now. It's too much for me. I'm all raged out,
Oh,
I know
man.
What you mean.
Come on, man. You got to have a little rage in you.
Oh, I got lots of rage. Lots of rage, but it's like a car with a blown transmission.
Can't have Russell Barth on without some rage.
He doesn't go anywhere.
So
for me, it was like hitting a wall and realizing that you just can't teach stupid.
Well,
I was burning myself out trying to teach stupid.
I tell you, when I'm around in Ottawa and the weather's warm enough, I wear a T-shirt that has a big pot leaf on it. It says "Marijuana cures cancer," and then in brackets it says "Look it up" at the bottom. And almost half the times we go out, I will end up engaging in conversation with people about it. One day we walked through the lobby of my building where my doctor's office is, and this woman was like, "Love your shirt." So I said, "Yeah, you want one? Here, I'll give you." And I went to give her a card. She's like, "No, I don't want one." I said, "Why? Why are you laughing?" She goes, "Doesn't cure cancer." I said, "Well, yeah, it does." So I just start rambling at her, talking about Israeli scientists, talking about the endocannabinoid system, talking about how it not only attacks cancer itself, it triggers the body's own cancer-fighting mechanisms. And I'm just just rambling at her for like 5 minutes. It's just her, okay. And I realize she's a new mother, too. Like, she's got this baby the size of a grapefruit kind of thing. Like a really small young baby. And I said, oh, it's also really good for nursing mothers, too, for, morning sickness. And, and I said there was a study. So the shirt really engages people. And on the way to the walk with Jennifer Collette, this little person was sitting next to me on the bus, and she says, "Is that true about marijuana?" So I started telling her about Rick Simpson oil, started telling her all about stuff. And then by the end of the conversation, she said she was going to go talk to her doctor about it, about her diabetes. Because she was going through testing for diabetes currently and was worried about what she was going to have to do. I said, well, just here, and I told her to look a bunch of stuff up, wrote some things down for her. So you never know how many people you're going to change,
Well, this last spring, we started with Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana doing public trade shows, like a Health and Wellness Expo and a Seniors Expo.
Yeah.
And the response was phenomenal of how accepting. There was not one person come up any time that I was at either one of them with anything negative to say about cannabis.
It's the response to my T-shirt, even if people don't say anything, it's usually pretty.
You can tell by what's on their face.
Well, you see, watch their eyes reading it, and then they sort of go. They make a face like, "Huh, interesting," or they'll make a face like, "Whatever," like they'll roll their eyes and look away, like shaking their head as if it said, I don't know, unicorns are real or something on my shirt. But once in a while, you see somebody really just scoff. Mostly, I would say 8 out of 10 are people nodding like, "Oh, right on, cool."
Can I
just... Or they'll smile right at me like, "Nice,"
Can I jump in here? Because we've got about 10, 15 minutes left here, and I would be really upset with myself if I didn't talk to Christine about her book, because I've never been able to talk to her about it. I think I talked to you about it the first time you were on it, Russell.
Fire away.
Every time I watch the video, I get choked up because it's exactly what several friends have gone through.
Exactly. That's it.
It
was pretty well much a it was trying to figure out a way, well, gee whiz, how do I tell my family, the people that I love, that, hey, I'm going to be doing cannabis now for my seizures, or, hey, I'm going to be doing cannabis for my fibromyalgia, or, and it's such a difficult thing. And I thought, well, how could that barrier be crossed? And I thought, okay, as a graphic designer, I could make pamphlets, I could make all sorts of different things. And I thought by making a storybook, it's a children's story. It's something that's very simple, something that's very non-threatening when you look at it, something that's very simple.
It popped right into her head pretty much at the same time. I had got off the phone in 2002. I got off the phone with my father, who was in Florida, and we didn't even broach the topic, but I hung up. It was right near Christmas. And I said to Christine, man, how am I even going to bring this topic up with him? He's such a redneck idiot. How do you even broach it? I said, it's like somebody needs to write a children's book. Look, see Russell walking. He's better with marijuana. And then we sort of looked at each other and our mouths just fell open.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God. And then that evening, probably in about 25 minutes, we had most of the text put together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we did some quick sketches to go with it. And the story, it's pretty obvious that the role of mommy is played, is about me, and the role of Heather, the little kid, is Christine's point of view of that.
Yeah. Well, I know
puking in the parking lot and all this kind of stuff.
I remember the first time that I act like I've got dyslexia, so my reading just sucks.
I do too.
I can't read a book for Adam, but I enjoyed listening to it on YouTube. It's called Mummy's Funny Medicine, and I post it all the time. But I wanted to tell you, Christine, because when I first heard it, I, of course, then tweeted it to my friend, who then had my niece listen to it. Yes. And my niece then, about a year later, got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And it was, on the cusp of being really bad. She was hospitalized for a week, blah, 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 went through the whole thing. Right. But she's come out of it with this knowledge, starting from your book and other media that we've broached her with. And she's 11 now, and she's got a good grip on what's right and what's wrong. And then this thing with Shauna Bonda came along. And we were having a conversation with her, and we literally told her about what was going on with Shauna and her young man. And she said, next week, Matt is coming into the school. And we had to just say, okay, wait a minute. Don't say a thing, because she's the kind of kid that'll stand up and go, whoa, wait a minute. Your information's wrong. Okay?
Right.
But it opened her eyes. It made her feel really good. And it gave Kelly a really good way to say, this is why. Because, she gets asked questions about it all the time. Now she doesn't have to get the questions. She's already got the answers.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We've
found that with this book that many families have been reunited.
Yeah.
It gives them the opportunity to shall we say, strengthen the foundations which were once built that were a bit rocky, and it's
the thing is, it's when we put the book together and we had the original text, even before the drawings for it were done, we realized that it would probably raise a lot more questions than it answers. It's the story, if you go watch it or you read the book, it is sort of vague, and you can see it's almost like chapter 1. It's not really sort of there's another book that came out shortly, about 6 months after ours, because ours was the first in the world, first children's book.
Right, but when did your second book come out?
Well, we didn't have a second book, but there's another book.
Why not?
It's Just a Plant, and that's by somebody in the States. And it's thicker, and it's more colorful, and it's more detailed. It's got way more text and all this kind of stuff. And
but
it's a better
the difference is, and I'll give you a good example of the difference between It's Just a Plant, because I gave that one to our youngest one to read. And she read that, enjoyed it, thought it was a great book. Then I gave her the copy of your book, and she wrote you a letter telling you how great it was.
Cool.
Right?
We've had quite a few emails and stuff like that from people, so it's been very rewarding, that book. And we haven't got anything out of it. I mean, we gave it, what happened was we were making the first print, just a color print that we could show people. And I was printing it out, and we were at Mike Foster's store because he had a good color printer. And I said, "What do you think of it so far?" He goes, "I like it. I like it so much I think I'm going to publish it." So I went, "Oh, geez, okay, cool." So he had 2,000 copies printed, and proceeds from that were supposed to go to a local compassion club that eventually folded and stuff. So, but I mean, he never even made his money back on it. Printing out that many copies of something is a bit costly.
How many copies did you print out?
There's only 2,000 in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to get to meet you in person so I can get both of you to sign it.
Oh, yeah, it's no problem at all. No problem. We it'd be nice to have sort of an anniversary book, like put it out again in hardcover or something like that, but that would be pretty costly. One of the other cool things that was really
How long ago did
a sequel?
How long ago did you publish it the first time?
It was published in 2003. So it's 12 years ago.
Well, listen, wait now. Why don't you do a second book? But publish it a bit differently.
We haven't thought of any text that isn't basically just derivative of Mommy's Funny Medicine. So, if something comes to us, we'll do it for sure. I mean, if we have an idea for a book, we'll do it. If we have an idea, anything we have an idea for, we try it. We've always, we're multimedia artists, both of us, so we're always working on something.
I met an author not long ago, actually, that made a donation to the organization, and he self-published, and he gave me all the information about how to do that.
Yeah, it's still pretty costly, though, self-publishing.
The printing is
no, there's an organization that helps you to self-publish.
Interesting. Because I've also been thinking about my memoirs, because I've had a pretty interesting life. So.
Well, you send me the information because I already have a publisher interested, so I want to see what information you have on self-publishing.
I'm sitting here looking at his book right now. It's on my bedside table.
But anyways.
One of the other cool, rewarding things about that book was in 2003, we were at 420 in Ottawa. And, everybody went up and did speeches. It was mostly political people giving speeches about, legalization and stuff. And it was good and everything. But everybody was done about, 10 after. So we just went, okay. I just grabbed the mic and walked up. I said, hey, this is my wife, Christine Lowe, and 10 years ago, we put out the first children's book about medical marijuana. And, of course, that day there was like 10, 11,000 people there. So we handed out, I think it was 60 or I forget what it was, a video of it. I think it was 60 copies. And
that was the day that was the only time I went to a 420, right?
That was the really cold one. That was
the one where Precious Chong was there?
Yeah, that was the first time Precious came and did it.
Right. That's the year I made it.
Yeah, 2012 was a really warm day, and it was just a loose one. 2013, it was a really, like a sharp cold day, like 4 degrees for most of it. It snowed a little bit. And Precious Chong was the host. But then, this past one was just raining, so it was terrible, and hardly anybody went. It was like 1,500 people or something, which is still pretty good for 420 on a rainy day. So.
That was pretty rewarding for anything on a rainy day.
Okay.
You know, it makes me wonder how much trouble those kids got into by using that book and bringing it to school or showing their parents or whatever.
I can imagine. Yeah. So
in the video I say, either go show it to a teacher or show it to a parent or, piss somebody off with this book sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's called keep
Mummy's,
precious or get it all torn up. So.
It's called Mummy's Funny Medicine, and I've just posted it on our Facebook page and Twitter. So have a listen. It's cute, and it's to the point. And the really cool thing is, even if you're trying to teach an adult about something like this book is the one to do it, because it just lays it out. Okay.
We should give that book out to politicians.
I was actually, while you were talking, I was trying to load it so that I could play it, but it didn't come up quick enough. So, one day I'm just going to throw it on as one of our songs, right? I have actually. There's another book out that's done kind of like Dr. Seuss, right?
Yeah. Was it Green Bud and Hash or something?
No, I can't remember. I've got it here somewhere.
Yeah, Dana Larson did one just recently.
This was a few years ago. This was a few years ago. Okay, so, Russell, please tell people where they can find you, donate, whatever, to help you and Christine out.
Well, you can go to Facebook, and there's the ongoing medical marijuana fundraiser for Russell Barth and Christine Lowe. Or you can just contact Dana Larson at the dispensary where he runs his dispensary. And you can just email money transfer money to him, and he'll double your donation. So every little bit helps. We're rationing to help it go as far as it'll go as it can, and we don't know how much longer we have to ride this out. It could be another year or more before MMAR and Allard and everything like that is settled.
And let's just make this very, very clear to everybody. This is not just so that he can ride down the road with a couple bucks in his pocket. This is so that they can afford to get their medicine. And Dana has donated the medicine, so it's not like they're getting the cash or anything.
Exactly. We're not going to see any cash at all. All we're going to have is medicine sent to us, and we're going to use it.
It pays for their medicine, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, Dana has been sending us some even when people haven't been donating. So it's. Anybody else wants to help and help Dana out, that would really be great, because he's been super, super generous, and we owe these people our lives, Dana and the other people who have been helping us. And right now we have about enough medicine for sort of another 5 or 6 weeks.
Is there a website that people can go to hear Mommy's Funny Medicine?
Yes, YouTube. Just type in Mommy's Funny Medicine at YouTube, and there's 2 different videos of it.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
And if you want to get Mommy's Funny Medicine, you can go to crosstowntraffic.ca.
Now, what if he runs out of books?
There's a few hundred left, apparently, 200-300.
That's what I was going to ask you. Can you still get the book?
I think Vapor Central also has some. If anybody's listening in Toronto, I think Vapor Central has some copies around. Ask Chris Goodwin about that.
Seriously, go get the book. There's only 2,000 printed. You'd be stupid not to go get a copy of the book.
One day it might be worth something. You never know. I mean, it's the very.
Russell Barth,
it has an
Christine
ISBN
Lowe,
number and
the
everything.
famous activist that changed the world. Perfect.
We sent one to.
And on that note, I guess it's probably time for us to take a break.
Yes. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, you're always welcome. Thank you for not yelling at us this time, Russell.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
Christine, it's always a pleasure. You need to be well, my dear.
Thank you. I'll try my best.
This is the 420 radio show. That was Christine Lowe and the angriest comic in the world, Mr. Russell Barth. And we will be back with our news. We're going to try and see if I can make this actually work.
Yeah, let's see if you can get it to work.
We'll be right back with Tabatha Ward, and we'll continue our conversations of the day. It's the 420 radio show again. Thank you, Russell and Christine. We'll be back in a few pimentos. Come on in the chat room.
Coffee break.
Chat room. Coffee break and a smoke break.
Coffee break.
Chat room. Coffee break and
Girl of your dreams has got to be in some bar.
Sorry, boys and girls, but this is X-rated. So if you're under 18...
Get out, goddammit! Get the point? Good.
And now?
Bend over.
Y'all ready for this?
Get it down. Get it down. I can't wait anymore.
I like to watch.
Whatever you desire. I know you'll like it. Do it.
We do it all night long.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Reefer. Is it really the cat's meow or a feast of death? Let's take a closer look. This is Chad.
I want to get something off of my chest really fucking quick, okay? I've been gone because I tried to take a break from YouTube for a while to get my fucking head straight and to calm down. No, there was no zombie apocalypse. I don't think, anyway. But, apparently there are people that have my address on the internet, and they're sending me things telling me I need to start smoking marijuana. It's got these, these things, I don't know if they're masks or what. They're called Grouchos, fucking Grouchos, and it's by a company called Pipe Pals. And they say I need to smoke marijuana and I need to lighten up. Well, let me tell you something right now. I don't need to lighten up. This isn't funny. This is not funny at all. You see this? This is what I think of your product, right here. You see this? I don't want any of your fucking pot. I don't put poison in.
So what are you doing? Nothing. Why not? I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website. Sounds like a cool website. Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it. You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Good evening. I'm Coulter Wonkite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
Oregon has taken the lead in righting some of the wrongs of the war on weed. On Monday, the New York Times reported on Oregon's leadership in expunging marijuana violations from citizens' records. Even simple pot tickets can haunt someone for the rest of his or her life, sabotaging job hiring, university, and other milestones. So Portland's Metropolitan Public Defender's Office is running an expungement clinic to forever seal records of past pot crimes. No state has gone further than Oregon, experts say. Anyone with a low-level felony or misdemeanor on their record that's at least 10 years old can wipe their record clean, if they have not reoffended. In 2016, more serious felony pot convictions like growing will be eligible for record sealing. Citizens who were under 21 at the time of their bust are eligible for fast-track records clearing. California also faces this massive issue of people currently and formerly incarcerated for acts that may no longer be a crime. For the first time in a century, certain marijuana activity is fully legal in the state, and under New California medical marijuana regulations, patients don't just have limited immunity. New license holders will be 100% legal. There is one catch. Felony convictions like distributing marijuana disqualify potential licensees. A prosecutor in southeastern Washington has charged 3 teens with felonies for marijuana possession, saying that a new law demands a higher level of offense. The Lewiston Tribune in Idaho reports that the teens aged 14, 15, and 17 have been charged. These felony charges could net them up to 5 years in prison. The offense was previously a misdemeanor with a maximum of a 90-day jail sentence. The prosecutor, Ben Nichols, says that the Senate bill, which the legislature signed into law this year, contains new language. If you're a minor, a person under 21, it's a felony, no matter what, he said. Canadians who have been prescribed medical marijuana could one day see their insurance companies footing the bill, experts predict. Health Canada announced revamped medical marijuana regulations earlier this month. You're going to see insurance companies slowly start to creep into the sector, says Kareem Malik, an analyst at Jacobs Securities, noting that the new regulations will allow medical marijuana producers to sell gel caps similar to those made from cod liver oil. That will allow for more precise dosing, Malik says. When you're trying to smoke a plant, you have no idea how much you're consuming, so that makes doctors a little nervous, he said. Experts say the changes are a major step towards legitimizing the drug in the eyes of doctors and insurers. The first marijuana pills have gone on sale in Europe and are now available via an online store. The 10 milligram Satifarm are pills marketed as a nutritional supplement. The reason the pills are legal is because they contain no THC. Instead, they contain CBD. It's a different cannabinoid. It doesn't get you high. Advocates claim that it can help with chronic pain, anxiety, and even severe illness. Although not recognized by the medical establishment, CBD products have become sought after as an alternative for a range of conditions, including cancer. Alzheimer's may be caused by a lack of cannabinoids. Clumps of protein in the brain are the primary markers of Alzheimer's disease, and for a long time scientists knew these clumps interfered with signals and memory in the brain, but they weren't sure how. Now a team from Stanford University School of Medicine has traced the effects of a plaque to the activity of the brain's own cannabinoids. They're called orendocannabinoids. These compounds are produced naturally by the brain and mimic the effects of the compounds in cannabis. Among many functions, cannabinoids play a key role in memory and learning. Dr. Madison said it would be inaccurate to assume that smoking cannabis could counteract the effects of memory and learning. Endocannabinoids in the brain are very transient and act only when important input comes in, he says. THC has a much longer-lasting effect. A 2013 study by researchers in Australia suggests that the ingredient in marijuana, CBD, could also be beneficial. The team found the treatment with CBD led to drastic improvements in the memory for mice who were genetically engineered to mimic Alzheimer's disease. Besides the potential to combat Alzheimer's symptoms, some studies suggest cannabinoids also hold promise in slowing the progression of the disorder. Thanks for listening, folks. Enjoy the rest of the show and have a great weekend.
This is Bubbles from the trailer park, and they're playing some fucking excellent music on lifestyleradio.ca. I hope I didn't sound too nervous there.
Please hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Imagine a world we could live in. Plant these seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow a solution. Hemp can heal the world. Imagine a world we could live in. Plant these seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow a solution. Hemp can save the world.
George Washington grew hemp. Even the Declaration of Independence was made on hemp paper. Thomas Jefferson had hemp fields. Let me tell you all the things organically grown hemp yields. Jack Herring tried to tell us the news. We can even use the seeds to improve our food. Build homes in the future made straight from hemp. No heat bill cost, so we save on rent.
Free will in the mix, hemp shirt, hemp kicks. Keep my gear earth conscious, let's go down the list. Its fibers are the strongest, products last the longest. Change our whole infrastructure, hemp will never wrong us. Obviously it's the plant that can raise our whole economy if we open our minds to see. Build your house insulated organically. That's real talk, homie, that's no fantasy.
Plant the seed, we got a world to feed. Grow hemp everywhere, all the food you could ever need. Oil, fiber, medicine, and paper. Banning cannabis was the world's biggest caper. Strong, durable, long-lasting, natural, renewable, botanical. all you gotta do is plan it. Wanna see it going up from the cracks in the granite.
Feed the children. Imagine a world. No pollution. Imagine a world. Green solution. Imagine a world. Can heal the world. Imagine a world. No more hunger. Imagine a world. Love each other. Imagine a world. We grow stronger. Imagine a world. Can save the world.
Let's take it back to 10 GBC. World oldest relic, camp cloth from the Chinese. Over 50,000 uses, you see, like the fuel and steel that made Henry Ford's Model T. Greeks, Phoenicians, high priests and priestesses, from Asia to America, hemp sails the high seas. $1 billion cash crop, can't stop, won't stop. Flip the greenhouse effect, the atmosphere is hot. My hat, shirt, pants, all made from hemp. Even the shoes on my feet stand eco-fresh. Raw food be the movement, I eat the seeds. Great source of protein and omega-3s. It's the most nutritious, plus so delicious. Put it in my body, mixture in my green smoothie. We was given every seed, bearing planet Earth. Genesis 1, 2, 9, check the verse.
Yo, a true field of dreams, tall and green. This one crop can be used for everything. Hemp milk, have a sip, taste buds, feel the bliss. Get a hemp notepad, take notes on this. Regenerate the earth, create new work. Build your karma points and your network. Freely I support him, listen for the quote. Keep it cool like Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap.
Imagine a world we could live in. Plant these seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow a solution. Hemp can heal the world. Imagine a world we could live in. Plant these seeds in the minds of our children. Plant these trees and grow a solution. Hemp can save the world.
Yeah, really.
That actually might be kind of true, too.
Marcel is... Just trigger the mic better here. Marcel is busy chastising our guest, Tabatha Ward.
I'm not chastising. I like Tabatha.
Oh, Jesus.
I only pick on people I like.
Well, that's good to know.
If I don't like you, I won't pick on you.
You're not likely to talk to them either.
Well, that's pretty much it. But I gotta like somebody to pick on them. So even though you're getting picked on, you should consider that to be a good thing.
Isn't that a
compliment somehow?
I'm actually talking to you.
Wouldn't you?
Is that what they call a backhanded compliment?
I don't know. I ignore a lot of people. I'm good at it. Sometimes by accident. Honest, sometimes it's accident. You just have to figure it out if you're the accident or not.
Hey, Marcel.
Yes, dear.
Please stop sending me naughty messages in our chat. I really don't care if your penis takes up the whole bed.
But I'm sorry, it did. It's pretty much right across the whole bed right now.
How is my penis, by the way?
Getting really good. Getting really smart.
She getting big?
No, I think she stopped growing. She's almost a year now, so yeah. I think now she's just going to bulk up.
Do you have any idea what we're talking about, Tabatha?
A dog, I'm hoping.
Yes.
Of some sorts.
I wanted to name my dog my penis, and they wouldn't let me, so she got a different name. But every now and then I still have to call her my penis.
Mm-hmm. I can why they wouldn't let you do it.
Well, if you think about it, hey, we have you on. We're going to talk about mental health issues. You can tell me if I'm crazy or not after this, but think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a dog, you name it my penis. That way you can say, oh, okay, dear, I just gave my penis a bath. I'm going to take it out and show the neighbors. You can have a lot of fun. You can walk around the street saying, hey, have you seen my penis? It's really hairy and black.
I'm sure somebody would have a complaint. And yeah, you'd probably...
Our listeners have never complained about it.
No.
And he whips out my penis all the time.
My penis. Everybody who's ever touched my penis loves my penis. Okay, we gotta stop now.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Anyways, yeah, maybe I am nuts. I don't need your opinion. How you doing, Tabatha?
Well, I've been Okay, I guess.
Better. I've been better till I got here.
Yeah, until I showed up.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. We know who you are and what you do, but I think that some new listeners might be interested.
Okay. Well, I am a mom of 3, and I have PTSD and depression, mood and anxiety disorder, and I have Crohn's disease. I use cannabis. I was hooked on morphine, and now I'm not. I'm. Where else do you want me to go?
Wherever you want. I know that you set a goal for yourself in the weight department.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like myself, we've talked about that before, and you did real well. Do you want to tell people that's very what made my head turn towards Tabatha was a presentation she gave that I got cut off at because we were broadcasting and it got cut off right when it got interested, and I was in mid and I realized that Tabatha and I have the same kind of issues and triumphs in our lives, being the weight and dealing with things. But you took it one step further than that and became actually worked in the field, right?
Yeah. I work with CMHA, Canadian Mental Health. I just do part-time peer support work. I do a drop-in clinic once a week in my local town. And we just kind of sit around and chit-chat about almost anything that if someone wants to, vent, we're open to, anyone coming in and venting and crying and just getting a hug if they need it. And believe me, there's days that we need it.
Yeah, I've got severe ADHD, so I know that you need a hug sometimes, even if you can't get one, you need one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, what type of experiences are the people, without going into details, obviously, are people coming to you with? Is it cannabis related? Is it strictly mental health? Is it because I've let's say experimented with different ways to control my ADHD that revolve around cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what kind of things do you find people are talking about these days?
Well, everyone that comes to my group knows pretty much right off the bat that I'm a user, and that's just how I am. And I'll sit and I'll talk about it, and I'll debate it, whatever. If people have questions, I will help them.
Do you find that people get offended by it? Do you have people offended by you even bringing it up to them?
No, I have not run into that yet.
Okay. So usually people are pretty open-minded.
I find right now pretty much, everyone is open-minded.
Have you met the one whose cousin died from it?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know anyone.
Because I don't know. There's always somebody that out there says that their friend's cousin died from it. So
you do get I think I got more of that when we were more in the public, like at the festivals and stuff.
See, I never got any of that at festivals.
A lot of clients that are coming to the peer support group are mostly regulars. Like, they've got nowhere else to go that Tuesday afternoon.
Look at the chat room. Sorry, look at the chat room. So Sally doesn't let my penis near her face. She's terribly allergic. I just saw that. Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
You've lost me.
That's just wrong, Al. That's just wrong.
Well, somebody said it. It's the smoking table said it in the chat room. Sorry to rat you out, dude.
I'm really glad I don't see the chat room.
Anyways, where were we? We were talking mental health with Tabatha.
Yeah, and how with the effects of in recognizing ADD,
ADHD.
Yeah. All right, whichever you want to call it.
No, I need that H in there.
Why? Are you hyper?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that maybe you can explain something to me. I mean, I'm sure you get asked this question. Like, yeah. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 5 years old. So, I mean, it's not something that anybody could dispute with me. Okay?
Right.
But, I mean, do you have people that are at the beginning of that process come to you and say, I think I might have ADHD, but I don't have enough attention to kind of find out kind of thing? You're like...
There are clients that have mentioned about having ADHD,
yeah,
but not, really getting into any in-depth conversation about it.
Really, because there is a huge community, a community-supported community kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All three of my kids were diagnosed with ADHD.
Okay. And did you medicate them?
Two of them were medicated, yes.
With?
Ritalin.
At what age?
Oh my oldest boy started at 5 when he started school because...
Me as well.
He couldn't handle his behavior.
Okay. And how old is he now?
He is 25.
Still on?
No.
Okay.
No.
What year did he stop?
I think he stopped completely off all meds around, because he had gone off of the Ritalin and on to Risperidol and did all those other different types when he was in foster care and stuff. So he had bounced around for a bit, but he hasn't been medicated for probably since 2011, 2012.
How old is he now?
25.
Wow. I'm 51 years old, and so in the 60s I was a test study at 5 with the Hinks Clinic in Toronto. And I was on high doses of Ritalin and Dexedrine until I was 16 when my doctor asked the question, are you smoking pot? No. He said, well, if you are, you might as well quit taking the Ritalin and the Dexedrine because it's going to do the same thing. So I waited a few years because I found beer and other drugs. But then, I started smoking pot when I was 19. What? Beer. Beer. And anyways, but I medicate. I have to take Wellbutrin as well. It works for the ADHD and my depression. I don't like it, but mostly because I can't afford the amounts that I would need of cannabis to medicate myself properly.
Yeah.
Which is what happens.
And when you stop taking the Wellbutrin, your side effects are going to hit you nice and wonderfully hard. And one of the side effects is you're going to quit smoking cannabis.
I don't know.
The fuck I am.
You've got to literally force yourself to smoke cannabis if you quit Wellbutrin. The same as any other antidepressant.
I will.
I smoke an awful lot.
I don't know. Well, we'll find out one day. Because I hope to, I'll increase it. And when I am very medicated, I sometimes forget to take all my pills, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also know that if I miss one day, that second day when I take it again is going to be the problem day.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you really... I have a friend who is on Cymbalta, and... crap, there's another one. But anyways...
like Cymbalta's not crap?
No, fuck. It's for seizures. I can't remember what it is. It starts with
that Neurontin thing.
What?
Neurontin or gabapentin?
No,
or
it starts with a T, I think.
Tegretol?
No.
Topamax?
Yep, that's the one. Yep.
I haven't heard that one.
Now, what's happening there is, okay, she went to a specialist 2 years ago who put her on. Then she got fired by her doctor for using cannabis and was kind of put into a stasis where the specialist stopped renews and put her into a tailspin because she was going 5 days without the Topamax.
Wow.
Then they started doing it with the Cymbalta. So she keeps getting whacked with the side effects like you were just talking about, Marcel.
Yeah.
And there was just an article that a couple of weeks ago that she read that put her into a tailspin because it said you stop that stuff that abruptly, you can do a lot of damage to your brain. It can misfunction because it sets your chemical balance off really bad, right?
Exactly.
And there are
you'll notice all pharmaceutical medications, when they put you on them, you're expected to take the same dosage all day, every day, constantly, because it screws with your physiological chemical makeup and shit. Now,
well, I know
that I have to say that's why I love cannabis, because I can medicate as needed, when needed.
Well,
it took me months to wean myself off of all the pharmaceuticals
I was just going to ask you guys that. I mean, it must have. I mean, I know.
And I fast tracked it which was probably not one of the brighter moves for most people, but I had no choice. I stopped taking pharmaceuticals in September of 2009 is when I started weaning myself off. My doctor and I discussed how to do this, and by January I wasn't taking any more pharmaceuticals, and the only pharmaceuticals I've taken since then are the ones I make myself.
Wow. Hey, I just have to point something out. I was wrong. It's the angriest pothead in Canada.
Oh, what
yes,
did you say?
That.
Angriest
comedian. Oh, right.
Yeah, because he's not really that funny if he's an angry pothead. We love you, Russell.
I'm sorry, Russell. I know Marcel well enough now that he's going to pick up on that
one. Perfect.
I too am the type that can't go without an antidepressant, and I've done the Wellbutrin, went off of that for a while because they say once you take it for at least 10 years, you should at least try something else. So after being on it for 15 years, they decide that, maybe...
Yeah, really, that's what I'm saying, too.
Before I started taking any antidepressants or anything like that, I went and I talked to a mental health practitioner.
Yeah.
And the mental health practitioner explained it to me.
That's who put me on it. It wasn't my GP.
And he explained it to me that is the idea to do it right is to use it to train your brain to create the serotonin that it needs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should only be on it for 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, fine. 2 years is enough. It's gone.
Okay, well, maybe I should... you think that... And then
I'll tell you, here's what happened to me. After I got off of it, and it was completely out of my system,
the
world actually had color.
Okay, Wellbutrin is an antidepressant?
Yes, it is.
It's like Effexor and all of those.
But it also it also works. It also works very well. It also works very well for ADHD.
Right.
So because
it dulls your brain down.
Yes, and because it's very, very common for somebody with severe ADHD to fight depression as well.
Right, and I understand that. Yeah. But the problem is it can still, one of the side effects of any antidepressant is depression.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So what I found is, as soon as I had switched to cannabis only and got off of that, everything had color again. I realized what I was doing was the effects was just making everything as dull, kind of gray, no emotion, no feeling, anything like that.
Well, I mean,
Right.
I wouldn't say that I go that far because I'm a pretty jovial person most of the time, on the outside anyways.
I'm normally not. If I was still taking the effects, you know what I'd do? I'd be sitting in a quiet room playing video games saying, screw you, I'm not doing nothing.
Well, I get very moody. I get very moody and I can't handle a lot of loud noises and yelling and stuff like that, and it makes me yell and create a lot of noise. You know, so I mean, I get caught in a quandra. You know?
Well, I mean, everybody has mental health issues. I have social anxiety.
Yeah.
Cannabis is good for that.
So I've been told. Or so I've proven myself.
You know, and that's the thing. There's very few things I can't respond to that way.
I know.
My youngest
You know.
has been,
Oh, anybody tells me something that's wrong with them, I say, oh yeah, I heard cannabis might help with that.
I know.
I was actually looking at Legionnaire's disease because we just had another death here recently.
Apparently cannabis doesn't help that.
I don't know about that.
I heard that you actually need an inflammatory reaction in the body in order to combat that. And that's why cannabis would not be effective, because it's an anti-inflammatory. You know what I mean?
It is an anti-inflammatory.
Right. And I was told that Legionnaire's disease, whatever it is that it affects, that an inflammatory response of the body is required in order to get rid of it for some reason.
It's
I have no
basically
idea
a
why.
form of pneumonia.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So it's like a spore thing?
It does. Well, that's what I was just quickly reading up on to see if it was a spore type thing, and
Because
if
I
possible,
guess it's
it
in
could be
ventilation
treated.
systems or something. They've seen it spread, right? That's how it got named. That was at a Legion Hall or something. Everybody got sick.
Yeah, something yeah, who knows? But it happens here every once in a while. We'll get an outbreak of this, and once I saw that it was pneumonia, like type disease, and very likely through the vapor or the air systems in the buildings is how it's being spread, then why not try vaporizers with cannabis and combat it from that type of way, so you're attacking right at it.
Right.
Because it affects older people because they're the ones that live in these homes. So why not try and combat it with cannabis on one of these old folks?
Yeah. I know I saw an article the other day basically pointed to the fact that almost all aging conditions are due to a lack of cannabinoids, that your body slows down the production of cannabinoids as you get older.
I honestly could believe that.
Well, me too.
Well, that would explain why people get cranky in their old age or forgetful, like we forgot that Tabatha was here and things like that, you know. We didn't forget about you, Tabatha.
Though, and I'm not old yet, I don't think.
Not as old as I think I might be the oldest one.
Well, we're going to say you are today, anyways.
I think I am.
72.
I feel like that, yeah. I look like that. I look at myself in the mirror and think I look older than my grandmother did at 76.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
You know, Kelly's decided she's not coloring her hair anymore. She's going gray.
Yeah, I've never done that.
What, go gray?
Colored my hair.
I've been thinking about it.
Really? I'm not.
Yeah.
I say I got gray hair, yeah, but it's strategically placed, you know, on the sideburns, just above the ear, that kind of thing, right? It's starting.
I started
to
gray
go
when
really
I was
gray,
in
though.
high school.
Did you?
Yeah, and I've never dyed my hair, so I've been thinking seriously about dyeing it, but I've been thinking about dyeing it green.
Green. Yeah, I can see you.
My
do
brother had gray hair in high school.
I'll make a deal with you, Marcel. I'll make you a deal with you, okay? I will do that with you in April if you'll actually do it. But it's got to be the washout kind. I'm not doing it for good.
You're going to grow hair?
I will grow some. I used to have a hell of a lot of it. Thank you. Yeah, I will grow my bird's nest out.
And dye it green.
And dye it green.
But I have another one that has to okay it first.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm having a hard time to convince.
I don't have that
because she knows I'll go in public.
Yeah, huh?
It would.
And it would have to be for an event.
What'd she say?
It really would look probably cool.
I think so. I think it would look cool if I had green hair and big pot leaves carved into the side.
What shade of green?
Oh, bright leaf green, cannabis green.
What strain?
Preferably a sativa.
Greens.
Yeah, preferably a sativa.
Do you have a lot of people ask you who know that you support cannabis, Tabatha? What strain is good for this and what strain is good for that?
Yeah, there are some that do, and I'm just learning myself, which is, trying to find out what strain is good for me and what's not. So it's difficult, but I mean, I try to give as much advice as I can. If we, look it up on the internet or do what we work together, which is a good thing. And if we're learning as well as we're looking something up, it's both. We're doing everything all at once. As long as we're together, that is support.
Well, this is my learning.
Social interaction.
Yeah, and this is my learning. This is how I have people like yourself on, and I ask questions that I have.
Yeah.
And then hopefully Marcel and Lori has questions, or people could even call us at 1-323-795-2420, and they can ask us questions. Like right now.
If they're in the chat room, they can ask us questions too.
Typey. Or you can tweet us at the 420 Radio Show, hashtag itsyourlifestyle. What else? Facebook. Just look up the 420 Radio Show.
Or you can call Tabatha at home.
Now, I was just sitting here thinking, wow, there's no excuse for anybody not to be able to get a hold of us if they want to.
No, because they can we'll give you Tabatha's phone number after the show.
I do have clients that do call me, that just because, like, it's not connected with, if I get in my car and drive over to the hospital, I don't get paid for that. That's all from me. That's from when that person phones and says, I'm at the hospital and I'm scared, what should I do? I can't say, stick it up, whatever, they'll be around and stuff like that. I have to get in my car and I go over and I'll sit with that person. That's me. But I'm also helping myself by doing that, because it makes me feel good for helping that person.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really nice of you. There are not many of you left.
Yeah, might have to put you up for sainthood there.
Yeah, you need one of these, Tabatha.
We actually need to be on the front line kind of thing, because if you have a mental health consumer that goes to the hospital looking for help and they call a police officer, a lot of times that uniform will set that person's anxiety higher.
Oh, yeah.
They think by putting that person in a room all by themselves with a cop outside the door that you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, how is that going to calm you down?
It doesn't work that way.
Oh, I would calm down.
Whoa.
Till the first person come in the door and got punched in the face.
You're very violent.
I'd be vibrating.
Man. You're a very violent man, Marcel.
Yeah, I know I'm a man, but I know a lot of violent women, and I know a lot of women that could really punch somebody in the face.
Oh, I know a few of those too.
Yeah,
probably been punched by one or two.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm speaking from experience.
Shut up!
I've never hit a woman.
Nope, neither. Nope, never will.
Nope, me either.
Never will. But I have to admit, I have been punched by a couple.
Yeah, and there's some people that you know, they really deserve to get a punch, but I haven't hit them.
Go after the walls.
There's a few,
No, because then you have to fix the damn wall.
There's been a few women that I wish had balls, because I would have liked to have kicked them, but I did not.
There you go.
There you go.
Now we're finished bashing women.
Yeah.
Want to bash men?
Yeah, let's bash men.
Not you.
With small penises.
Well, you can bash men if you want.
Let's bash men with small penises. Okay.
Oh, yeah, because my penis is big.
Stretches from one side of the bed to the other. Yeah, we heard that.
Yep. That bad that my penis can't even sleep in bed with us.
What's happening next week, Marcel?
Next week we're going to have Randy Fleming from the American Cannabis Company. Guess I should get that right.
Yes, the American Cannabis Company. And what?
Who's going to be here?
And what is that?
Randy Fleming from the American Cannabis Company.
And that is?
They, for lack of a better term, they'd be looked at as a one-stop source for growing cannabis.
Yep. Okay.
Right. So
for
kind of do a little bit of everything, and then I think
for gardeners.
And I think Jennifer Collette
but also on large scale for licensed producers and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I call anybody that grows a gardener, but okay.
So they're kind of like a middleman.
Yeah, but they do a lot of consulting.
Okay, cool.
So they can go in and do complete garden setups and things like that as well.
Oh, well, that'll be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions, please, feel free. And Jennifer Collette from the CMCP will be around.
Yeah.
To talk.
She's going to be talking about her big walk that she did the other day.
Which just completed. You were there, Lori?
Yes, I was there on Parliament Hill. It was an interesting time.
Lots of people?
I was... actually, a lot of people turned out for the walk. I was impressed and in awe of the number of people, the conditions that the people had. There were patient supporters, caregivers. People hopped in and walked for a day or part of a day or part of multiple days. As Russell and Christine said, they walked like 5 kilometers in Ottawa to the end of the route, and then sadly Christine had a seizure right before they got to Parliament Hill. I was taken aback when I got to Parliament Hill an hour before anybody was scheduled to be there because I'd never seen automatic weapons all over the hill before. But there was a high alert because somebody was
because the potheads were coming,
going around killing people.
Yeah,
sorry,
150 kilometers away.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, the where they caught him though is like a little cottage community not far from Ottawa, where not like really close to where I used to live. And friends also live there. He was actually caught a lot closer to Ottawa than what you might imagine. So, but yeah, good to know that I was on the back side of the automatic weapons once I arrived on the hill. It clearly went from like a yellow to a green while we were there because by the time we left, they were all gone.
That was Stevens Harper saying, "Hey, you potheads, get out of here."
Well, it was weird because they're so welcoming when we go there, and they're so friendly. And oh yes, are you kidding?
So,
you know what I found? Okay, there were 2 things that disturbed me a lot about the time we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 3 things. One was that no politicians bothered showing up.
Oh.
A second one was that the ones that showed up to represent were probably some of the more ill and least able to just pick up and go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it took something for them to get there.
Oh yeah. I was really impressed. And the other thing was that I was standing talking to 3 RCMP officers, 2 of whom had automatic weapons with their fingers on the triggers. None of them more than a foot and a half away from me. And I was not fazed, and I don't even think I even looked at one of the weapons. That disturbed me more than anything.
And they were open to conversation, like they were interacting
Oh,
with
God,
you?
yeah. I walked right up to them, and Nick was our liaison on the hill.
Yeah.
And he came over and introduced himself as Nick. And shook hands and hugs congratulated Jennifer when she arrived.
Oh, that's
found out everybody's names, took all our business cards, and
awesome.
yeah. And when we got there, because all the people that were walking are patients, let's face it. It was a slow walk. It was at the pace that they could manage. They were a lot later arriving at the hill than we had planned.
Yep.
So we had to rush through security, and bless their hearts, as soon as we got there, they kind of opened my bag, went, is anything in here I should be concerned of? I said, a whole bunch of cannabis and a license to go with it, and he zipped up my bag and handed it back to me. And when we got in there, they said press conference. I said yes. The three of us, they shut off the public line and whisked us through. And yeah, signed us up, gave us our badges, and put us in for the press conference with, like, they're so friendly and accommodating, and yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Actually, I heard somebody make the comment that it's too bad the government doesn't come across the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and actually, I will say the one fellow doing the, that walk-through metal detector thing.
Yeah.
The last time I was there, he was teasing me. So this time I walked through, and he's looking me up and down and up and down, and I looked him in the face and I went, "Are you teasing me again?" And he got this look, this big grin, and he went, "Yeah." He goes, "Again?" And I said, "I remember you from last time." And he just started laughing and pointed me over to the side and went, "There's your stuff." It's like, yeah, they don't look in our bags, or, yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. They know what we're coming for. We act like everybody else, and we're treated like everybody else. And yeah, they're amazing. And they even gave Jennifer a DVD of the live broadcast.
Oh, wow.
When we were done.
So there, media, and it was all taped, and well, that's good. That's good.
Oh yeah. It was broadcast live on parliamentary TV through all the Parliament buildings and over to the National Press Gallery, and it was on tape, and they burned her a DVD before we left, and CBC was there. And
oh, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now it's just a matter of they actually use it and broadcast it.
It just dawned on me that Tabatha's got another job that she didn't mention. She just doesn't know that it's a job yet.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, at the last AGM for Mom, Tabatha got put on the board, so now she's got a job.
Oh, cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It doesn't pay very well.
Does it pay at all? That's better off than most of us.
Actually, no, it doesn't. And it requires a lot of work and patience and time, and very consuming. And so Tabatha's volunteered to do it.
You sound like a very compassionate woman, and congratulations on the appointment, and I'm sure you'll kick butt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Do we need another round of applause?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
I think so. Just a sec. I have to load it because my computer, my computer just.
You know, it's a lot better when it's.
My computer just fell asleep.
He's loaded.
I'm loaded.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, that tingled my brain, man. You know, I was just looking here on Facebooky, and I see a post. Where did it go? Hold on. Well, look here. Snoop Dogg is he's got a new social website coming out, and I'm going to find out that information, and I'll make sure that it's talked about.
A social website?
Yeah, he's jumping into the arena.
Wow.
Yeah. But there was something else I just saw here, and now I can't find it, of course, because that's how Facebook works.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. So
what's next on your list of agenda there, Tabatha?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. What's new? What's going on?
Oh,
Here
what's
it is.
Next?
NASA,
I want to know what's next.
NASA will announce a major Mars discovery on Monday. Maybe they found aliens. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm actually going to be doing some fundraising coming up here soon. I was very fortunate yesterday to see a surgeon in Halifax, a plastic surgeon, to have my, since I've lost so much weight, I have a lot of extra skin that needs to be removed. So it's quite costly. So I'm going to be looking into that. I'm actually, I've got to lose another 40 pounds. So that's on the list. And I've really got to get out of this slump that I've been in. It's been a rough summer. I've had some off and on, been fighting with my health all summer long. And just past recently, my mental health has really gone downhill, which is now starting to go back up, I guess. So hopefully I'm going to stay busy. I've got to go back to the gym and get back on track.
Have you thought of yoga?
Yeah, I have.
Or have you tried yoga? Better than thought of. But have you tried it?
I do like it. You've got to get out of that. I'm wondering if I should change medications or if I should just stay with what I'm at right now. But you just can't. You get in that slump, and it's your PTSD and your depression and your anxiety and everything all kicks in at once, and it just. Like, I've gotten to a point now that there's a part on the highway that at night, if it's dark, I can't drive between it. And I've never had major problems with my anxiety like that before. So I'm going to try and get out of this slump. And the surgeon said I had really nice skinny legs. So maybe they'll get walking somewhere.
There's actually a road near me that I just can't go on. It just terrifies me when somebody else is driving. I can go up and down it all the time, but when somebody else is driving, I'm like,
yeah.
I have the same issues of driving at night, things like that, especially if it's raining or something like that.
Fog does it for me.
It that can actually trigger anxiety for me.
Yeah.
So those are the times that you would never see me driving. Because once you know the triggers, then you just know to avoid them.
Yeah.
Right. But what I also find is when it happens, I just add more cannabis.
When in what is it? When in doubt, add more cannabis.
That's pretty much my philosophy now on pretty much everything.
Be a really cool T-shirt. When in doubt, add more cannabis.
That would be a good T-shirt.
Yep.
That would. I'll have to do that one up.
So, Tabatha, please tell everybody where they can get a hold of you if they'd like, to talk or be put in the right direction for some information or something like that.
I'm on Facebook, and I can post my number. My number is you can text me.
Oh my God! I was kidding about that.
No, texting I will. Yeah, but I can say no to people.
Okay.
There are time limits, but there are times that you yourself need to answer that text for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, because really that might be from your dead uncle's lawyer in Nigeria.
or it could be from a nice lady that wants to give you a nice tongue job. I get a lot of those emails that,
There you go.
Yeah.
Tabatha might get some of those.
Yep.
You can look me up on Facebook and message me through Facebook, and I will certainly try and get back to them.
Awesome. Tabatha's a good listener.
I try.
Yeah. Thank you for being on with us, silly people, Tabatha.
Thank you. It was quite quite an experience.
Yes, thank you.
Well, last time you said you enjoyed it, though.
I did. I did, and I enjoyed this evening as well.
Well, that's good.
Really funny. It was great.
Funny. We were trying to be serious. This is a serious subject. Sheesh.
Well, hey, listen, I figure we might as well have fun while we can, because, like, the serious subject is those people who can't laugh.
Well,
still.
you know what? Yeah, and we say it at least once a show. We may sound like we're taking some things to, a little bit to light of heart, but believe me, this is a very serious subject, and but there's no reason why you can't joke around and have fun, right?
To be honest, I enjoy this because it's 2 hours every week that I can laugh, because dealing with sick people all day, every day, there's not a lot of laughing involved of the time.
That's why, I when I'm giggling and saying silly things, I'm not making light of anything. Neither is Marcel, or my penis. My penis isn't making light of anything either.
No, not when it comes to cannabis.
No, I like to talk about my penis because she's cute.
That I've laughed this much. So thank you guys.
You're welcome. And you can join us anytime you like, Tabatha. You know, seriously, even if you want to just sit in with us in the chat room sometimes. You can
and
do that.
As soon as I learn how to find the chat room. I've had troubles getting into it, so...
Really? Oh. Well, the feed should just start. I mean, when you go onto our website, we're mobile compatible, so you just look for the live broadcast button and push it, and it should start.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Or just go to the website, and it'll start on its own.
I think it was just because I was trying to use my phone the last time.
Unfortunately, unless you have the app for the chat room that we use, which is TinyChat, then because TinyChat is Java and mobile is HTML5, so totally different platforms, scripts.
But
mail,
does TinyChat have an app?
It does. Yeah, but the thing is,
there's an app for that.
It does, but I have never been able to find our chat room on the app. But although I get frustrated with stuff like that very quickly, so I must admit I didn't really look that well. I believe there are some free things in the chat, but there are pay parts of it as well in the app. So it's best to just come to our website at lifestyleradio.net and click the chat button. And I'm going to put a little graphic on there this week that says, "Come into the chat room!" or "Call us!" Yeah. But it has been a pleasure chatting with our guests tonight, Russell Barth and Christine Lowe. And, of course, Tabatha. We will have you back sometime in the very near future. We've got, who did we say is on next week, Marcel? Mr. Fleming.
Randy Fleming.
Yep, from the American Cannabis Company. And Jennifer Collette.
Jennifer Collette from the
Canadian
CMCP.
Medical Cannabis Partners.
Awesome. Yeah. I like Jennifer.
Yeah, amazing the drive and determination that lady has. I have no idea how anybody can walk as far as she does. That's just blows my mind, actually. So I had a hard time just walking around downtown Ottawa.
I couldn't do the walk, that's for sure.
I was going to go, but it was just too much for me. I mean, I can't do crowds to begin with, so it was just.
My problem is climbing up and down Parliament Hill. Like it's deceptive when you look at it, but just from getting from the street up to the building has to be the equivalent of 2 or 3 city blocks each way uphill.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anywhere you park, you have to climb uphill to get to that street from whence you have to climb uphill. Thank God it's downhill all the way off there, but still quite a distance. Yeah.
So I saved the last bit of our PSAs because I know Lori doesn't like it, so she doesn't have to listen to it. She can book as soon as I hit play.
What PSA?
For Green Thinking. Now, do you want me to play it, or do you just want to tell people about it?
Geez, if I had the script in front of me, I'd read it.
Okay, well, I'll just play it again.
Yeah, my voice isn't really very hot, I don't think, so that's the only thing.
She doesn't think so.
I haven't had the opportunity to record a good one.
Doesn't really matter, we're going to play it anyway.
Okay, sure, play it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because it's an excellent...
We're playing it.
It's an excellent event, and they actually have a new speaker who is a doctor. Who started signing people for Section 56 over 20 years ago.
Okay, well, it's called Green Thinking, and I think that we should have Jack on before that happens. What do you think?
Oh, definitely, yes.
And I'm actually thinking about driving down, so we'll talk about that, though.
Maybe, yeah, the organizer, I'll ask Jack if he can come on with the organizer maybe for one of the future shows in the very near future.
Sure, for sure.
Okay.
This is the 420 Radio Show. We are live here every Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lifestyleradio.net is our website. Look us up on Twitter and all that stuff. Thank you, folks, for listening. Thank you to our guests. Okay, I'm out of here. Good night, folks.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Thank you,
Coffee's
Tabatha.
kicked in.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Enjoy your over-medication.
Oh, no. Now I got to go and bag up stuff off the drying racks.
There you go. I'm going to go have a snack, and then the show will be put out to a podcast.
Is Tabatha still here?
Yes, she is.
Tabatha?
Maybe she left.
Oh, I think she must have hung up.
She hung up on us. Tabatha, go! Man.
Oh, great. Hell with her then.
All right. We're gone. See ya.
All right. You guys have a good night.
September 7th, 2015, the Green Thinking Assembly will be taking place in Kingsville, Ontario, Canada. It's an initiative designed to further discuss the potential benefits of cannabis for medicinal purposes. The assemblage will consist of speakers that will deliver their own personal stories of where they were in the past and where they are today medically, as well as their journeys along the way. It's the hope of this assembly to make the public better aware of the need for legislation reform that will allow, at the very least, the choice for anyone to possibly direct their own fate by means of cannabis, without the threat of governmental resistance and or criminal charges being made against them. For many years, the subject of cannabis in general terms has been taboo, and it's now time to reduce the stigma and let it be known that it's okay to talk about cannabis and the healing properties it may offer. In nature, there are no rules when it comes to survival, and somewhere along the way, they feel we have lost our soil identity. For more information, you can go to www.green-thinking.net.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. If you know the roots of it, then you will find the truth in it. If you know the roots of it, then you would make use of it. They have been hiding the truth for so long, trying to tell the people using the herb is so wrong. It has been here since 10,000s of years. Now is the time to drive away those fears. Come on, people, open up your ears. That's why we're singing it loud and clear. If you know the roots of it, then you will find the
you know the roots of it, then you will find the truth in it. Yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. Yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. But Bali said, excuse me, while I light my split, knowing that the cannabis is a precious gift, because they told us so many lies. To some people this might be a surprise, to see my spliff as a blessing in disguise. Time for the herb to win the Nobel Prize. If you know the roots of it, then you will find the truth in it. If you know the roots of it, then you will find the truth in it. Yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. Yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. So I beg you, do not turn youths into criminals by declaring something good into illegal. It is helpful, it is useful, it is natural, and for your meditation inspirational. Known all over the world, it's international. From the Rastaman down to the Cardinal, they use it as a holy sacrament, well spiritual. The only crime about it, it's still illegal. If you know the roots of it, then you would make good use of it. 'Cause if you know the roots of it, then you will find the truth in it. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. If you know the roots of it, then you will find the truth in it. 'Cause if you know the roots of it, then you will find the truth in it. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. This is the cannabis song. You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is how much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiva grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
Please hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.